Well, we're joined now by TV Vet Joe Inglis and Tallulah, as you can see, and Malcolm Tarling from the Association of British Insurers. Good to see you all. Malcolm, £2,500, or not far off, for pet insurance. How on earth does an insurance company justify that?
Well, that is a lot of money, but the fact is that insurers are paying out ever-increasing amounts to pet owners whose pets need treatment. Every day, insurers are paying out over £1 million, and they're dealing with over 2,500 claims from owners whose pets need treatment. It isn't just the cost of vets' fees. We're also seeing a rise in the complexity and the nature of medical treatments that are now available, and pet owners quite rightly want access to as wide a range of medical treatments as possible when their pets fall ill.
So, Joe, is it partly the vet's fault then? Because it's so expensive, vet treatment, isn't it?
It is, but as Malcolm said, I mean, part of that is down to the new treatments that are available, so we can do things like MRI scans and lots of advanced treatments. So pet healthcare is getting much better, and there is no NHS for pets, so there has to be a cost there. But I do think that the veterinary profession does need to accept that we have some responsibility for that, and unfortunately, I think in some circumstances there are cases where vets tend to charge more because pets are insured, because I think in some instances insured pets are seen in a way as a sort of a slightly golden goose. You know, the insured pet, well, if something is slightly borderline as a whether it needs that extra test or that scan, well, we'll just do it because it's good for the pet and, you know, it's good for the vet.
On the other hand, though, our surveys revealed there was a huge variation in the sort of premiums you might pay, depending on when you might live, depending on the age of the dog, etc., etc.
Yeah, it's all about risk. I mean, if you look at older pedigree animals, for example, they're going to cost more to insure, particularly if you've got an animal that's more prone to a particular medical condition. That has to be reflected in the costs of insurance. But what insurers are trying to do now is to give customers more choice, to help them limit the costs, because owning a pet is expensive, as we know. So, for example, you can get policies that will limit the length of time the condition is paid for, or limit the amount of money that each condition will be covered for. And that's a way of keeping premiums down for pet owners.
Problem is, people who don't own pets or haven't had pets won't get this. I think you're all just crackers paying this kind of money when there's mouths and children and lives to feed. But if you are a pet owner and you're faced with the choice of having your pet put down or paying money, it becomes very difficult because you don't want to make a decision purely on financial grounds. And sometimes I think perhaps insurance companies play on that. I'm not going to pick out any one, but the adverts are very alluring, aren't they? Got woeful pictures of puppy dog eyes and would you want this to happen to your pet? And people feel that they have to then take that out and take that on.
I think you're right about the bond there between the owners and animals is a very deep one, and that's why we spend so much money and why people are willing to spend £2,500 on pet insurance, and they're part of our family. But I think the wider point of these costs do need to be got under control, because we don't want to put people off having pet insurance, or even worse, having pets, by these costs spiralling out of control.
The cost of drugs was there. I have a couple of cats, and one of them had an overactive thyroid, had to have drugs, you know, and you can get those drugs much cheaper on the internet, and that applies to whatever you buy, wherever you go, I suppose. But I mean, are they profiting unnecessarily on that? I mean, my vet's a lovely person, but you know, I've got a business to run, I accept that, but it's a huge markup.
Accuse the veterinary profession of profiting, but I think there are instances where that does happen to a degree, and I think part of the problem is there's a rise of situations where vets are on commission, so they're paid a monthly salary and then they're on a commission based on their turnover, and I think that puts pressure on vets to deliver sales, and the last thing you want is your vet to be a salesperson. You want them to be prioritised on looking after your pet, so I think that's an issue the veterinary profession has to look at.
What about this? Lenny says, why not just put £25 per month away in case of a vet bill? That way, if you don't need to pay the vet bill, you can watch your money grow in the bank and it's there when you need it. That's going to put you out of business, isn't it?
That argument falls down is that what happens if 2 weeks after you've taken out the insurance you need expensive medical treatment for your pet, for example. You know, the cost of treating a tumour or a broken leg can easily run into several £1,000s.
Well, Marie from Cambridge says exactly that, Malcolm. Actually, we pay £350 for pet insurance, worth every penny, because our 6-year-old Springer has neck cancer. This would have cost £4,000 to treat. So
I wouldn't want to put anyone off getting pet insurance, but what I would say is, you know, really choose your insurance. Don't necessarily go for the cheapest one at the beginning, because as we can see, the costs can spiral as pets get older. So get the right policy when you take it out, and look for one that gives you lifetime cover rather than just 12 months of cover. So look for the right policy.
Buyer beware as ever.
Exactly.
Good to see you both. Thanks very much. And you, Tallulah. Very well behaved.
Yes, very well behaved guest. Thank you very much indeed.